Hello, and welcome to the Divinely Driven Results Live Show. I'm your host, Elise Smith, Christian business strategist, and I want to ask you guys about email lists today. Who loves email lists? That is something I think that people have a lot of mixed feelings about in business, because either you love it or you hate it, or, maybe you have somebody's email list that you're on and you absolutely open every single email, right? Or maybe you never pay attention to their emails and you are afraid that your emails are going to end up like that. And so we're going to talk today about how to divinely build up your email list and help it to convert like never before. I hope that sounds good to you. Now, I want to use this opportunity here in the chat. Make sure you say hello and tell us what you do. You never know who's going to check out your comment and reach out to you and say, I need that in my life right now. So tell us what you do in the comments below. Now, email lists can be rather intimidating to create and hard to know how to get people to open and interact with them. And then there's the whole leading to a sales thing, right? Because that's what we're trying to do here. And we all have emails from people that we completely ignore and those that we open every single time. In fact, I want you to think about that person's email or that company's email list that you're on, that you're like, every single time I see an email from them, I open it up. Think about that. We're going to really dive into that a little bit. Now, once again, my name is Elise Smith, Christian business strategist. I'm the owner of Divinely Driven Results Coaching Company that is here to empower Christian women entrepreneurs in the service-based industries to be able to reach their sales goals by partnering with God, empowering their mindset, and utilizing biblical business strategy. And I have to tell you that when I first started with email, oh my heavens, I was a mess. I have had email systems for years and they were just slowly growing here and there. Sometimes I'd be good at doing regular emails and sometimes I would be terrible. And then I'd have to do that whole email of like, I'm still here, guys, don't worry. And I didn't have a very good open rate because I wasn't very consistent and I just didn't utilize it that much. But around the time of COVID, Facebook started to make some kind of interesting changes. And there was a lot of like cancel culture and things like that going on. And I was blow drying my hair one day and God really just impressed upon me. He said, okay, social media sites you don't own, right? You don't have anything to do with that. You could be canceled just like that or thrown in Facebook jail or any other social media you can be kicked off of, right? I don't own those things. And I've built up a pretty good list of amazing women and a community in my Faithful Ladypreneurs Facebook group. In fact, I'll put that in the chat if you guys want to come join us. It's for Christian women entrepreneurs who are looking to grow their business in the Lord's way. But here was my thought is that, oh my heavens, if something goes down with social media, God said, how are you going to get my message out to your audience? If you're only building on social media, then how are you going to get to them if something goes down? And the crazy thing about it is that a few days after that, Facebook went down for a whole day, which was unheard of, right? Do you guys remember that? What did you do the day Facebook went down? But I really had that thought. And so I told God, I was like, okay, I'm going to focus on building up my email list because email is something that you can own. That email list, regardless of what email platform you're utilizing, that is something you can own. And people, regardless of, what people say, they still open their emails. Yes, Laura remembers that day. Exactly. It was like the day that Facebook went down, right? But the thing is that God has a message for you to get out into the world. How are you going to do that? Absolutely, we want to build up our audiences on Facebook and Instagram and all the other social media out there. But I want you to consider the fact that we don't own those things and we want to have multiple ways that we're going to reach out to people. Think about the gospel. You can read the Bible, you can hear maybe a pastor talk, you can listen to a hymn or Christian music, or, see something on the internet. There's so many different outlets to be able to really tap into the gospel. It's the same thing with the message that God has given you. We need to really spread out our outlets. And so that's why I really encourage you to be open to looking at email, whether you have email right now and you're, doing that on a consistent basis, or maybe you're not consistent, or maybe you have no idea where to start. That's okay. So we're going to start with our biblical success principle found in Philemon 1:6. And this says that the communication of thy faith may be effectual by the acknowledging of every good thing which is in you in Christ Jesus. What the heck does that mean? So you can look at it this way, that the sharing of your faith may become effective for the full knowledge of every good thing that is in us for Christ's sake. Isn't that interesting? So, if we are supposed to share our faith, and it doesn't matter, guys, it doesn't matter if you are really building up your faith through your business. Like, you can tell that everything that we do, we go back to the Bible, right? That's biblical business strategy. But even if you are, selling coaching services and you're not actually saying like, oh yeah, I do this based on Bible strategy, it doesn't matter. The thing that God is calling you to share is your experiences, your knowledge, your expertise, and those things that make you who you are, that are a perfect fit for that divine client out there. We are meant to share those messages. So what messages are you being called to serve right now? Let's see that in the chat. What are the messages you are feeling called to serve? For me, of course, our business is all about taking Fortune 500 company principles, looking at them through the lens of the Bible so that you can achieve those sales goals, but also grow closer to God in the process. The real behind the scenes purpose here is so that I can empower women to remember their power as a daughter of God, to step into that, to be able to achieve those purposes that God has put on their heart, because God would never give us a goal in our heart if he wasn't willing to provide the steps to be able to make that happen. We get to take those steps, right? That's the message that I feel I am called to serve. What is your message? Now, we've talked about the fact that we want to have emails. Most people still check their emails every single day, right? It's another way to connect your audience and share God's message. We're going to really diversify, just like the gospel, and then bring them into your community. Even if you don't have a Facebook group or something like that, your email list can be a community for people to join. You can have it be really interactive if you want to, or you can just have it be a one-way conversation. It's up to you. And of course, if we're going to put on our marketing hat, we're going to talk about staying top of mind. We want to stay top of mind because you never know when someone is going to finally say, yes, I need to work with her, right? It's great as we are planting all these seeds out here is we never know when the harvest is going to be. That is up to the Lord. Our job is to plant the seeds and have faith that God is going to provide the harvest. And so staying top of mind in their email helps. Now, for instance, my hubby and I, we love to go to sales at Old Navy, especially for jeans. I don't know what it is about Old Navy jeans, but I love them. And they're just, good quality Old Navy jeans, right? And I never open up Old Navy emails unless I'm looking for a coupon for Old Navy jeans. And then I know exactly where to go on my email list to find that coupon or to check out if they're having a sale. I never, if they looked at my open rate, it would probably be like 10% or 2% or probably around 2%, because I never really open their emails unless I'm looking for those coupons. Laura says, I help Christian women coaches build and scale their business. Yes, Laura, you and I, for sure. We're in the same boat. Love it. And so think about that for you, is that if people may not read your emails very often, but when they are looking for that, you are right there in their inbox. That's why I really recommend that you email at least once a month, but ideally we want you to email at least once a week. Really, if you're at the minimum stage where you're like, I can't come up with anything else, I've got to just do once a month, that's better than nothing, but once a week is preferred. And you can do multiple times a week if you kind of vary what it is that you're sending out. Okay, so that is why I want you guys to have emails. Hopefully you're sold now. Now, let's go back to that question. Why do you like opening other people's emails? I just told you that with Old Navy, I open their emails because I'm looking for their coupons, right? But there are some people's emails that I do open because I love their content. Who has somebody that they love their content for? I love it when I got an email from someone the other day, and we have an email list where it's called Study study with Elise where we look at Bible principles and parables, and we give you the business twist on it, right? And if you want access to our emails, then be sure to join Faithful Ladypreneurs, our free Facebook group, and we can make sure you get those. But the thing is that the other day I got an email from someone who said, I never look at anybody's emails but yours. And I was like, yes, that's what we want, right? So if you want people to open your emails, let's talk about a few things here. First off, the more relevant and valuable your content in your email is, the more likely people will open it on a regular basis. If they see something that they really like, now this really comes back to knowing your divine client, who it is that you are meant to serve. What are their pain points? What do they really need right now? What are the solutions that they're looking for? If you can provide those in an email, like for my audience, when they open up those Study with Elise emails, they're looking for a way to really just partner with God and bring him into their business. And so when they read those Bible parables and they see a connection to the business side, then they get to grow their business and their connection with the Lord at the same time. What are the purposes of your emails? You can take a general purpose of your company, like we talked about before, that message that God has shared for you, and then chunk it up into different categories and start sending out emails around that, right? But we want it to be relevant and we want it to be valuable so that they'll want to open it up. Next thing is we want to have catchy subject lines. Now, I know that we're not all copywriters, and this can be a huge pain in the you know what. But the thing is that we want to catch people's attention. How many emails do you receive every day, right? Like I used to be that kind of person that I could not, like my hubby would have like 60,000 unread emails in his like junk email kind of. We all have a junk email, right? You just, when you're signing up for something, you put in the email that you don't usually check on a regular basis. Yeah, guilty. But the thing is that he used to have like 60,000 emails he wouldn't open because he didn't need to. And I was never that person. I always had to look at every single email. No, I got rid of that a long time ago. Now I'm at like 90,000 emails or something. But it's because I'm searching for the ones that are actually of interest to me. And usually the ones that are interesting to me are the ones with the catchy subject lines. We are bombarded by messages and subject lines all day long. So you need to stand out amongst your crowd. Now think about what catches your attention. It's that clickbait kind of stuff, right? Now, we're not trying to, be sleazy or spammy or anything like that, but really getting people to think. And so what I encourage you to do, and this is kind of a cool little trick, anytime you see a catchy subject line, whether it's in your email or maybe it's clickbait on social media that gets you to actually click on the thing, you're like, oh, I have to know that, right? Or even if you're at the grocery store and you're looking at magazines, right? The covers of magazines. Usually they say like the top 10 ways to whatever, right? And then you're like, ooh, I have to know the top 10 ways. So think about that. Anytime you see any of those catchy headlines, write them down or put them in OneNote on your phone or whatever it is that you use to take notes, and then make them yours. Then you say, okay, the top 10 ways to make your email more effective or whatever it is. Just take other people's ideas and make them yours. There's really no original ideas out there. And so that will help you to be able to start coming up with catchy headlines. So just kind of think about that. That can help for sure. Keeping them engaged, keeping your audience engaged, ask them questions, ask them to respond, because that is going to help to have that back and forth conversation. Some people do, what is a question that you have around emails? And, email me back and I'll give you a suggestion or a solution or a resource or whatever it might be. That's a really great way to make sure that people are staying engaged in your email. You want it to be kind of a two-way conversation, and you want to know what it is that they want to have in their email box. So ask them. Be real and be you, right? Be genuine. If you have a silly personality, maybe use silly GIFs. Or maybe you have memes that you use in your email. Or maybe it's just the way that you talk and you're like, hey girl, how's your day going, kind of thing. It doesn't have to be in a fancy form or a newsletter. In fact, newsletters are kind of like 2000s, 1990s kind of thing. That's when the rage for newsletters was. But you can still have something like I have the Study with Elise emails, and that's kind of a newsletter. You can still have something that's consistent, but I wouldn't really say like, who wants to sign up for my newsletter? Do you want to sign up for people's newsletters? Not usually. So give them some kind of reason to start following your emails. And keep in mind that unsubscribing is totally natural, guys. Like, it is okay. Don't take it personally. If someone unsubscribes from your email, that's absolutely okay. I know I've unsubscribed from a lot of people's emails, and it's not because I don't like them. It's just because I didn't find the content as useful as I thought I would. Okay, so that's just a few things of getting people to open your emails. What helps you? What do you do to be able to get people to open your emails? All right, now last but not least is how to help people to convert. Now, we don't want to just rely on emails or direct messages. You want to kind of diversify in your marketing strategy. But the thing about emails is that we want to strike while the iron is hot. Right? That is the thing. We want to have a freebie sequence. So instead of just putting it out there and saying like, hey, come sign up for my newsletter, it's awesome. People usually sign up for people's email lists because they're getting something free from them. This is a freebie or a free offer or freemium or whatever it is you want to call it, something of value. Maybe it's just a simple tip sheet or a recording. It doesn't have to be too fancy or big or anything like that. In fact, let's see what your freebies are down below. You are more than welcome to put a link to your freebie, which I'm hoping will be connected to your email list so that you can have it automated like that. But when we strike when the iron's hot is when you're sending out a freebie. So, we have like our business meetings with God mini course. And so sometimes we offer that for free or paid, kind of depends on where we're at. But what we do is we give that in that first email. So there's a thing called a 5 follow-up email sequence. Guys, you're getting some great stuff today. I hope you're writing down frantically here. So what you're going to do in that first email is you're going to do a value add, meaning you're going to deliver that free whatever it is that you gave them. And you can kind of give them a little teaser and say like, ooh, number 4 is my favorite tip. What's yours? That gives engagement. Or watch out for, number 6 because a lot of people get hung up on that. Well, I'm going to open it up and see what number 6 is because, naturally we have curiosity, right? So number 1 is your value add. Number 2 email, 1 or 2 days later, is your soft sales value add. So this might be something like you're going to tell people what you do and how you do it and maybe how you work with people, but you're not necessarily saying come buy from me. It's just kind of giving that soft sell. And then you're also going to add something of value like, hey, I know that you may have liked my 5 tips to whatever. Here's a couple more that I want you to be thinking about. Or go ahead and ask me a question and I'll get you an answer, right? Giving that value add. Number 3, your third email, which is a day or 2 later, is another value add. Make sure that you are giving them a reason to open up your emails. And number 5, I think we're at, 5 is your last chance or your hard sale. So this is that, okay, now for the next 24 hours, this thing that I offer is only $97. Make sure that you get it. Those 5 follow-up email sequence emails are going to help people to actually convert because it's great to have people on your list, but if they're not buying from you, then it can be really difficult. So we want to give a lot of value to help them to see how much value we actually can add. And then we want to sell at the end of that email sequence. And you can throw in another one of like, hey, I don't want you to miss this very last chance kind of thing if you want to, but strike when the iron's hot. When someone is new to your email address, they're used to getting a few emails from that person. So help them to get to that point, right? To book a call with you or to buy something usually under $100 is a really good way to look at that. And when you're going through past that, you want to remember the 80-20 rule, 80% value add, 20% promo. So if you are doing, once a week emails, make sure that once a month at least, you are reminding them of the services that you have to offer or telling them who you serve and the fact that you have time on your consult calendar so that they should hop on it or, doing your offer that's under $100, whatever that might be. But we are so good sometimes at giving value, amazing value over and over and over again. And then we forget to offer or we don't feel comfortable in offering. But there might be people on your list who are ready to take that next step. They just need an invite from you. So 80% value, 20% offer or promo. Okay, how are you guys liking these tips? Are you starting to see how you're going to get more open rates with these types of concepts? Also, how to convert people. And the last thing I want to talk about here is your email service provider, your ESP. I certainly hope that you're not using like your Gmail or your Yahoo account to be able to send these emails out one at a time. Make sure you're using an email service provider. So this is something like Aweber, ConvertKit, MailChimp. We use CloudKey CRM and we absolutely love it because it is a marketing system. Not only do you have email in there, but text message, and you can build out your websites, and you have membership portal, and it also connects to your Facebook Messenger in a really amazing way. So if you want more information, make sure you put the word CRM down below, just Customer Relationship Management Tool. That's what that stands for. And we can reach out to you about it. But make sure you have an email service provider that is going to automatically send out these emails when someone signs up. Usually it gives you like a landing page for someone to put in their information on, and then it connects it automatically where it'll send out those emails on the time frame you want. And then from there, you can just do a drip campaign and stay top of mind in their email. Okay, I know we covered a lot here today. I hope you guys have found incredible value. I want to see down in the comments below what were your aha moments. And if you want to learn more about this CloudKey CRM, which is really an all-in-one marketing system, make sure you put CRM in the comments below. All right, ladies, thanks so much for joining us on the Divinely Driven Results Live show, and we will see you next time.